Hello everyone and welcome to SpartanGaming Plays The Testament of Sherlock Holmes. So this game, I guess you could say, came out 3 years after Jack the Ripper. So effectively it is a continuation of the stories before it. It's definitely not a sequel. But it does reference, it references the Awakened, oh god, what's the next one? Nemesis. Or versus Dobson, Lupin, and Jack the Ripper. I don't think it references them too much, but it definitely implies that this continues after the events. So it kind of helps if you've either played or watched somebody play the games before. You don't need to. It is kind of standalone, I guess you could say. For instance, they changed Sherlock's voice. The guy who voices Sherlock in this is very, very good. I never liked the original voice for Sherlock in the last 3 games. I always personally thought his voice would sound a bit too nasally. Like it was trying to sound like a snobby Londoner. Yeah, and it always rubbed me the wrong way. But the guy who voices Sherlock in this is ever so good, very good. So I've played this game a few times. I've run through this yesterday, so I know basically what to do. So I won't be skipping puzzles and such. I'll be playing from the beginning to the end, so yeah. I'm also playing on normal because screw playing on difficult. Is it hard or is it difficult? Just got hard, yeah. I think the difficulty changes how hard the puzzles are. And I really, really don't want to have to look online or spend like half an hour trying to do a maths puzzle because brain doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, I want to play on hard, but I won't record playing on hard. That's just nightmare fuel. So yeah, hopefully this should be interesting to watch. Like I said, this game, I like this game a lot more than the previous 3. Purely because it's more. It's more modern. It's less hard. Put it that way. But yeah. Let's jump into it, shall we? There's some nightmare fuel kids coming up. So yeah, brace yourself. I should also warn you as well that this game is quite it's quite heavy on the violence. There's quite a lot of like bodies and corpses and shit, so if you're not into that, please, you know, yeah, it's nothing like today's games. Good damn, modern games are very desensitized to violence and such. But yeah, I just thought I'd warn you in case you're like, oh, there's a body there, my kids can't watch this. But your kids shouldn't be watching me anyway because I swear like a sailor. But anyway, let's begin, shall we?
What's this? No. Boop, boop. La la la. Ooh. Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
See what I mean by the nightmare fuel kids? They were haunting, weren't they? My god, no wonder they were in the attic. That's where they live. That's where they have to stay, because they're so scary looking. But anyway, here we are. See, Sherlock Holmes' voice sounds very nice. Very nice. I think there's 3 camera angles in this one. There's this one, where you can walk around. I think R changes camera. There's the old first-person view, which is what I've been playing on. And then there's also this one, which is the fixed camera, which I never liked. I hate this view. I don't know why I don't like it. If I was going to play it, it'll either be in this view or first person, but yeah. I think this game came out for the console as well. I remember playing it on the 360. It's very cool. This game also induces motion sickness in me, like madness. I don't know why. There are certain times in the game where Sherlock would like look at something and the camera would just be like bobbing around, and it makes me feel like I'm on a boat. So yeah, I don't know why. They decided to add this awful like head bobbing. It doesn't happen when you're stationary, but like when you look at an item, it will zoom in on it and it will just be like moving around like this. It's awful, and you can't remove it. So thanks video game. But yeah, this gameplay is exactly the same as the previous 3, I guess you could say. You know, going from release date, which would be the Awakened, Nemesis, and then Jack the Ripper. So space should poop out highlight the objectives and such. The only thing on this game is that your space bar is on a cooldown because of reasons. That noise you just heard there means that it's available to be used again. And as you can see, as soon as it does this noise, it means that you can interact with something. But yeah. Let's have a look. Everything's basically the same. The menu's slightly different, but not really. Same ugly ass bag, same ugly ass knife and matches that you get in the previous games. The dialogue boxes and such are different, but again, it's effectively the same. It just looks a bit more modern, as a modern game in 2012 could be. There's also a deduction board, which again was a big thing in Jack the Ripper. In this game, it's similar. So that's nice. This is the screen that you use to switch characters, which you can only do at certain points in the game. So I don't know why this has its own menu. And this is your achievements, because yes, we entered a realm of achievements, didn't we? Kind of like 20. Well, we're like 20. Probably like 2000 and. God, would it be about the Xbox era when the game started to poop out achievements? Yeah, this game's no different, but yeah. And this changes your camera, which again, it's the same button as on the keyboard, which is R. But yeah. So there's no hint system in this game. What do I remember? No, last time it was like a question mark down here. So yeah, we are going blind. But yeah. As you can see, we're still basically in the tutorial. So look at the bookcase, broken showcase, sorry, and click on it.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
You can always interact with left click. After a clue is examined, the icon will turn green, as you can see. Please move Sherlock near the left window. You should see 2 clues icons immediately.
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
And this
A
one?
mark, undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
Why would he escape through the window? Making the hole that small. Go to the chimney. You will see the hand icon on the magnifying glass. Take it and examine it. You can open the inventory by right-clicking. While playing, you can always activate any of your items from inventory by rolling the center mouse wheel. Again, this is basically the same. It's weird that they had a tutorial here. Like, there was no tutorial in the previous games. I guess it's because people got confused about what to do. Especially in Nemesis. Nemesis was a bloody pain in the arse sometimes. I still wake up screaming about that bloody museum. It was like 10 riddles. It's like 9 too many. He wants us to open this. Near the piano, some sheet music scores are on the floor. You can activate them by selecting from the inventory or directly from the game. This one.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
And we're looking for a handprint.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
Come on, Watson. Use your brain, dude. Oh, you can use the middle mouse click to change that. Left shift is sprint, but you can press caps lock to have it so you don't have to hold the button, because why in God's name would you want to walk? I mean, really? Let me see if I can get rid of that tutorial. There we go. Base activates his sixth sense. You can now search for clues in this room. Thank you, video game.
Candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier.
It's nice that they got Watson's VA back. Because Watson's voice in the game has always been good. It was just Sherlock's that was kind of iffy. Oh yeah, there's also this thing where you can't look down or up very much. So this is the max you can look up, which is very, very... It's inconvenient later on in the game where you need to interact with something that's above you. And it's too slightly out, so you have to, like, reverse. And there's also, like, to view this candle, like, I have to reverse and look at it very specifically. It's odd. I guess it's something you just get used to, but...
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room.
Yeah, I don't know why they limited you up and down. It's very weird.
Strange. There aren't any prints. Yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
Is that a lemon tree? Is that like a reference to The Awakened then? In The Awakened, you when you go to New Orleans, or New Orleans, as they like to call it in the game for some reason. I guess it's just to make sure that we're over in America. Yeah, there was a lemon tree you used to open a... You put it on the floor, and it opened it was like a big picture on the wall. And you had to stand on this specific spot and then shoot to open a secret door. But you used a plant. How weird. I don't know why the hell he's got a lemon tree in here. Plus it's hiding it from people. What's that about? And this god-awful statue. Why would you want this? And it's got no boobs. What the hell's going on with this, people? Statues in this area should always have tits. It's only right. Is that no reason to hide boobs?
These documents are not very interesting.
Breasts are best.
To the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
Yeah, so basically we're just looking for clues.
Heading
Fireplace?
towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Because it was on fire. Not like he has a bloody fire extinguisher with him.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
It's a weird picture. Never noticed how gaudy these pictures are. Why is there not one here? They should be symmetrical. That's just all these ugly pictures. I never really stopped to look around in this area. Because you want to get rid of it. You know, when you want to get into the main game and...
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Oh, it's a horse. Looks a bloody weird horse.
The chest wasn't opened. The necklace wasn't in it.
Oh, a metronome. Couldn't I be near the piano?
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Yeah, when you've like run out of things to do.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
There we go.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry,
Always late.
in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small, small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a 𝘨𝘠𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝑟𝑜𝑝ithecus rosalia from Central America. The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now. Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Okay, it's Tash. Surely he doesn't wear that around the house. Like that stellar animation. He drinks tea without moving his lips. It's a true Britishman there.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet. And I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
And there we go. After a very long explanation about some weird monkey trying to steal a necklace. You're also probably wondering, who the hell is Inspector Baines? Or Barnes, or whatever the hell his name is. Lestrade is away for 2 weeks or something. I think he's away. He's on his holidays, and Barnes or Baines takes his role. So yeah, Inspector Lestrade is around. He's not dead. It's just, yeah, he's on his hollybobs. But yeah, here we go. Look how nice this game looks now. Like if they only remade Jack the Ripper and made it in these graphics. God, I'd be all over that, like a tramp on chips. Oh my god. Everything just looks more, I guess you could say, a lot more detailed and more modern than, but it keeps the same aesthetic as the previous 3 games. You know, same sort of layout and everything. Same weird bullet holes in the walls. Same ugly ass pictures and stuff. Bookshelf. The rooms are the same. Holmes's his desk with all of his instruments in is the same as well. But he's also got a map for Toby, the secret third member of the Watson and Holmes trio. But yeah, can we go in Watson's room? We can. Nothing in here though. And Holmes's room. Yeah, see, it's very similar. Got his makeup set, because he likes to put makeup on, as everyone does. It's a shame you can't interact with anything in here. Yeah. So, read this newspaper, shall we? There's people just standing outside. Oh my god. This is a lot of this is a lot of stuff to read. Oh my god, Sherlock Holmes. At the home of the Marquis of Cunningham. The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, the celebrated detective was invited to the manor to supply his conclusions following his investigation into the disappearance of the priceless Simone necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed. Of course they did. The police in this game and every other Sherlock Holmes game are just idiots. Like, stupid idiots. Like, you do question how they became coppers. Let's have a look. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while in the room. Oh god, we need to read all this. We already know the fight started out. Bell rang. Marquis is the only person who possesses the key to the door because for some reason the servants who clean the house and shit don't have a key to the door. Because of reasons. Yeah, the thief was not found. Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye. The jewel was recovered. I will not waste any time. You've already wasted like 3 pages of time, mate. I prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last surprising development in this case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noted that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it be not forgotten that the Simone necklace... I think it said Simone? Anyway, I'm just going to call it the necklace because that word's throwing me. Although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls which are found only in a small part of a lagoon in the archipelagos of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystals and aragonite that they are made. Their price is, it's a bloody expensive necklace. The priceless necklace. Oh, where has it got a big empty space here? It was brought at the beginning of the last century by Lord Fenwick. Oh, we don't need to know all this. It was someone's dowry. Okay, the Duke of Newcastle. If only people knew what kind of place Newcastle is, you would think Duke in Newcastle. Mind-boggling. So basically they think Sherlock Holmes replaced it with a fake, which we know for a fact he didn't, because he clearly put it in the safe. The guy literally was right next to us when we did it. Our thoughts and judgments should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes' method. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malignant pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. I love how this guy doesn't point out the fact that the copper and the Prime Minister and Watson all pissed off on their own, thinking that he wanted to steal Big Ben, and they staked out a bloody, was it like an apartment? For like God knows how many hours, expecting him to turn up. Yeah, they don't mention that, about how stupid those idiots were. Amazing. Oh my god. This is basically just absolute trash to slander. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider why does this guy keep using words that I don't understand how to say? Those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it's quite apparent that his character traits show more of an opportunistic and brilliant usurper than that of an altruistic defender of law. He's never shown to be an altruistic defender of the law. He solves cases because it keeps his mind occupied. Oh god. Surely this is defamation. Like, this is pure hogwash. Absolute bobbins this is. This is written by a newspaper. How this is not used to wipe your ass is beyond me. I would like to draw attention of our readers to the suggestions that the descriptions of the gentleman provided by his friend Dr. John Watson, whose story is a long way from the truth. Indeed, his behaviour is something contemptuous, haughty, offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines. Oh, here we go. Replacing the star who's currently convalescent. Guessing that means he's on holiday. Why is this guy mentioning Baines? What if Baines paid this guy to write shit about Holmes? Oh wow, he even mentioned that he's an abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. What? He was an opium addict, wasn't he? But does opium contain heroin and cocaine? Surely not. I mean, I don't know. I don't take opium. I don't think anyone does anymore. It's important to disregard Sherlock Holmes' good reputation in order to form an objective opinion and ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? If that's the case, why did he not mention it? And why should he insist on placing it back within the safe himself? He didn't. Hold on, how does this guy know all this information? Holmes asked the Marquis if he wanted to inspect it and put it back, and he said, no, you can do it. Like, Holmes didn't insist on placing it himself. Someone's feeding this global explorer a load of shit. Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair? God damn, I can't read today. Or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary necklace? Why the hell would Holmes want the necklace? It's up to you, my dearies, to form your own opinions. That you've literally written your opinions for us to absorb and make them ours. That's why I don't read newspapers. They're all shit. You can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of those who, in the future, I shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the usurper. Wow. Oh, fuck you, O'Farley. Let's see if you wrote all this bollocks. So someone's been feeding him information. And it probably won't be the Marquis. I reckon Inspector Baines is selling that at Holmes. Because Holmes doesn't like him. Because it's definitely not Watson. Wow. What a load of bollocks. Oh god. The ancestor of Prince Woodville. The Lord Committee set up in order to verify Prince Woodville's legitimacy made its conclusion public last night. Without surprise, the prince's title was confirmed. As rumours suggested, in return of an unfavourable opinion by the committee, the prince would have abandoned any claim to the inheritance of the present royal family, as well as any political activity. A young man now 28, read history and law at Oxford with a diploma in philosophy. Spent most of his childhood in France. He acquired a considerable knowledge of the culinary arts. Okay. Weird for a prince to want to know. Now, for those who might think this is the handicap when interrogating into British high society, let me remind you that he is also outstanding on the polo field. Because that's just what we want our royalty to be. You know, good at polo. Oh, and also good at playing the bagpipes as well, because that is definitely a must. We should add that lately he has become active involved in charity work and aiding the poor. Sounds like this Prince Woodville is being trying to come off as the perfect man. Who the fuck is Prince Woodville?